Hello, my health and safety professionals. Welcome once again to Safe Time Online TV YouTube channel, an online tutorial for NEBOSH International General Certificate. Therefore, today we are going to look at one of our important elements, one of our important learning outcomes, and element 2 of the IGC-1. That is the ISO 4501. For the Occupational Health and Safety Management System Standards. Our previous lesson, we looked at the ILO 2001. And today, before we start our today's learning outcome, I would like us to have a review of what we already learned our previous lesson. And our previous lesson, we looked at the elements of the ILO 2001 of the Occupational Health and Safety. And we said the first element is policy. Number 2, organizing. Number 3, planning and implementing. Number 4, evaluation. Number 5, check or audit. Number 5, audit. And number 6, action for improvement. Lastly, continual improvement. So these are the elements that are found in the ILO 2001. So if you need the video, it's already out in the previous lesson. Therefore, you can go to my YouTube channel, Safe Time Online TV, and you look at that. Remember, we are following the systematic arrangement of the syllabus so that we can have a better understanding of the syllabus of IGC 1 and 2. So we are moving on, and today we are going to look at the ISO 4501 of the Occupational Health and Safety Management System Standards. We already said that this learning outcome or this element is very much important because it is being examined in the NEBOSH open book examination. Therefore, you need to pay attention to this learning outcome so that you can have a better understanding for your examination. And for those people who are watching this to gain knowledge in health and safety, you can pay also attention to see how you can run your organization or how organizations are being run under these management system standards. And what are the benefits of engaging with one of these management system standards to get certified for your operation. So today we are going to look at the elements of the ISO 4501. But before we look at the elements, we have the introductory part, which is being highlighted. So the ISO standards, the ISO 4501 standards provide an occupational health and safety management system standards that an organization can externally audited against. So if an organization is operating, it might or it will look for a specific management system standards to get certification so that it can operate. So during auditing, if there is an external audit, let's say for example it's come from the authority, that is from the government, they will be provided with the certificate that they follow the health and safety standards in their organization. So this is a very important management system that each and every organization have to get involved with and get certification from. So according to your organization, you can choose whether you will use the ISO 4501 or the ILO 2001. So depending on what your operation is involved. So a successful certification to the management standards means that the organization can demonstrate to other interested parties such as client So if there is any engagement for the organization with clients, the organization or the management can present the certificate to the clients, and this will assure that they are safe to engage in any kind of business because they are certified under this management system. The ISO 45001 is based on the PDCA, that is also the same as the ILO 2001, that is Plan, Do, Check, and Act. So it is compatible with both or with other ISO standards, such as the ISO 9001 for the international, which is a recognized, which is an international recognized quality management standards, and the ISO 14001, which is also an international recognized environmental management standards. Now let's look at the outline of the standards, which are the elements. Now, element 1 of the ISO 45001 is the context of the organization. So, under the context of the organization, it is also under the management framework system. It is under the management system framework. So it requires that the occupational health and safety management system is designed and operated so as to be appropriate to the organization and its operational environment. So any organization undertaking any kind of operation, it must consider the environment where the organization is placed. So if the organization, if the environment or the community or the area where the organization is running, it is densely populated, and the organization operation is hazardous to the environment, it means it does not fit to be operated where it is. Therefore, it has to be shifted or completely removed from that area. So the first element of the ISO 45001, it talks about the context of the organization, whereby it considers the organization operation as well as the environment where the organization is running. Number 2, or this forms both the environmental in which the management system operates, the boundaries of the system, and the system itself. Now, number 2, it talks about the leadership and workers' participation. Whenever the organization is running, it must consider the management hierarchy or the management system, that is the management role, that is the role and responsibilities of which is given to some of the staffs in the organization, and this will involve from the top management to the junior management. Therefore, any management system that is going on or that is being practiced in the organization must be stipulated to all the workers, and they must be consulted, and they must participate in any management system so that they can feel that they are part of the organization. So this requires that the occupational health and safety management system is driven by those at the top of the organization, with the active engagement and the participation of workers at all levels. So the top management must be the first priority in the occupational health and safety management system, and they must also involve the junior management or the junior workers so that they can fully work as a team to ensure the health and safety management system and standards is being practiced. So the standard makes it clear that the top management must be personally involved in driving the management system. So this does not require only the junior workers, but also it should cut across to both workers, starting from the top management to the junior. Number 3, or the third element of ISO 45101, it is planning. And this, an ongoing planning process, forms a part of the occupational health and safety management system, so that hazards, risks, opportunities for improvement are identified, and that appropriate action has to be identified and planned. So here, the ongoing planning, that is all the time the management or the organization have to move on forward again and again. It should not remain stationary. And this will involve the identification of hazard in periodical or routine, and the risks and the opportunities for improvement should always be considered. This sits in the plan, or this requirement sits on the plan elements of PDCA, that is plan, do, check, and act cycle, and contains many requirements which are controlled or which are central to most organization of organizational health and safety management system, such as the planning for emergency and planning the risk assessment system. So this is how the management have to follow: identification of risks and hazards, identification of all the opportunities for improvement, the requirements for emergencies, identification of emergencies, and planning for risk assessment. All this is required to be planned in time by the top management across to the junior management. The risk assessment, here I'm going to define. Maybe someone doesn't know what risk assessment is all about. So risk assessment is the formalizing or the formalized process of identifying the hazard which is associated with the work activities and location, the evaluation of risk, and the evaluation of risk, and then either eliminating the risk or controlling that risk to an acceptable level. Again, risk assessment is the formalized process of identifying the hazard which is associated with the work activities and the location, the evaluation of the risk, and either eliminating or controlling that risk to an acceptable level. So that is what is referred to as risk assessment. So risks have to be identified, or hazards have to be identified. They should be eliminated, or if elimination cannot be used, or therefore they should be controlled to the acceptable level. Now let's look at the fourth element of ISO 45, which is support or do. And this is concerned with the provision of support for the occupational health and safety, so that it can be established, implemented, and maintained, and continually improved. So this support should come from the top management. The support can be either the provision of enough resources, the provision of manpower, the provision of working equipments, and many others. Number 5, operation, which is do. It requires that the hazards and risks are operationally managed. So the risks and hazards should be managed so that they can be mitigated to the acceptable level. Number 6, performance evaluation. After you have applied or implemented your policy, now you have to evaluate yourself whether the system is running smoothly, and that it is compatible with the organization and the operation which is undertaken, or if it does not, you have to change the system so that you can make sure the system used is compatible with the operation that is being undertaken. So under performance evaluation, which is under check, it requires the systematic internal monitoring and reviewing of the occupational health and safety performance with a view to driving continual improvement. Number 7, improvement, that is under act. Always from the top management, they should always think to move forward, to move the business forward, to move the organization forward, so that after some time they will be able to identify their own achievement. So under improvement, which is under act, this embeds the principle of learning lessons and implementing the learning from those lessons into the occupational health and safety, into the occupational health and safety. And from a practical perspective, the requirements set out many routine occupational health and safety management activities, such as safety inspection to identify non-conformity and accident investigation. So this system of improving the organization to make the organization move forward, it involves many occupational health and safety management activities, such as safety inspection have to be done that will identify the non-conformity. Non-conformity means that there is part of the health and safety system which is not being taken into account, and rectification has to be done. And accident investigation also help to identify whether they can improve the organization and how they can improve the organization to move forward. So this marked the end of ISO 4501 elements, and our next lesson or our next learning outcome, we are going to look at the benefits of certification of both management standard, that is the ILO 2001 and the ISO 4501. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and if this is your first time to watch my videos, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, that is SafeTime Online TV, and you can like and share. If you have any question regarding the previous learning outcome, you can simply ask and I will be able to assist you. Thank you very much. Let's meet in the next video.